Okay. Hey. Yeah.
We begin on page 632. Yedid nefesh avarachama.
Page 636.
Mishoch avdecha. Thank you. Eritzoncha yarutz avdecha kemo aya. Habibi alai et sukat shelomecha ta'ir eretz mikvodecha nagila v'nizmecha
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I have this wonderful opportunity tonight because there are so many guests, and one of Danny's guests was courageous enough to come up to me and say, I'm new here. I don't know about this. What are these candles? And I was so grateful. Like, I just kind of forget that not everybody knows what Shabbat candles are, right? And so I realized I could use this moment, which we always have a little moment at the beginning of our service to talk about, well, what are we doing here? Like, what is this? And usually it's from more of a place of like, we know a bunch of stuff and I'll just tell you something to think about. But let me just actually take this as an amazing opportunity to remind us of the basic things, or teach us for the first time the basic things, which is that this is Shabbat. Shabbat is the seventh day. Our tradition teaches us that God rested on the seventh day when God was creating the world. We take that as a metaphor of if the divine source of all things needs rest, well, surely we do too. And then we have a story in our tradition in which we were enslaved for 400 plus years and suddenly became free. And in the process of moving toward our freedom, recognized that if human beings work without freedom, without rest, without replenishment of body and mind and soul, they will not survive. It is not okay. And so both those messages together teach us that on the seventh day, we relax. It's kind of like a vacation, a Jewish vacation every 7 days, where you take away the work of the world, you put it down, you say, like, whatever I was supposed to be doing, the to-do list, the email inbox, the text, the social media, all the things poking at you that say you're supposed to be doing more, you're supposed to be thinking about something, you're supposed to be responding to somebody, you're not doing enough, do more. You put those things away. You say, you know what, I'll be back on Sunday. And in the meantime, I'm free. I'm free from all of that. There's nothing I have to do except take care of what's in here. Take care of my heart, take care of my mind, take care of my body, take care of my love and my relationships and my community, take care of the natural, like not take care of as in fix the natural world, because you do that the other 6 days, but just be in it, just be in the natural world, like go and sit under a tree or look at the sun, or don't look at the sun, it's always bad, but like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the moon, you can do that, but like, be in the world. And remember that no matter how bad it feels on the other 6 days, like you look at the headlines or you experience the world we live in and you're dragged down into the muck of the thing. Because as Jews, we don't ever escape that. We don't ever try to avoid that. We're not about like, get through it because you're going to go to heaven. That's not us. We do like, yeah, we're in this world and your life purpose is about mending this world. And that's what your dedication is on 6 days. But you need 1 day that's a break. So on the seventh day, we look at the world as if it is the world that should be. We pretend for 25 hours, like we just go into the world and we say, like, what is beautiful here? What is good here? What is enough here? What are the blessings? What am I grateful for? And we breathe a little differently, we move our body a little differently. We're supposed to have pleasure on Shabbat. We eat and drink. We have sex on Shabbat. That's a thing. So like, it's like about like savoring, being alive. That's what we do on the seventh day. And so this moment is the invitation into that 25 hours. It's like the set induction, if anybody's an educator. It's like the setup for, okay, let me shift gears out of the way I was in the world when I was trying to control things and fix them and profit from them and all the things. Shift gears into, oh, now I'm just being, I'm not doing, and I'm receiving, and I'm opening, and I'm remembering who I really am, which is more than my work in the world. I'm remembering who I really am and what's actually important to me. And so I'm going to use this next hour or whatever it is, I'm going to use this next bit of time to sing and to sing in gratitude and to sing in praise, because singing opens me up and reminds me, I'm alive. And I'm not going to be alive forever, but I'm alive right now. And that's amazing. So that's what we're doing. And you'll notice that a lot of our prayers are kind of like love poems. They're written by our ancestors a really long time ago. They use language that are metaphors that are not metaphors we would choose, probably most of us, so we take a little bit of a leap into their language, into their idioms. But what they're trying to do is say like, wow, I'm grateful to be alive. It is awesome to be alive. Thank you for my life, for this world, for all the miracles I enjoy every day, for all the blessings that are around me if I only pay attention. Yes, we know the world's broken. Yes, but today it's good. That's what we're doing. Okay, so we're turning to page 130 with Lechu Neranana. Lechu Neranana means let us sing out in joy. That's what we're doing.
Mi'ar sha'im yatzileh
133. Mismor Shiru Ladonai. Shir Chadash. Ki niflaot asa. Hoshia lo yeminu uzroa kodsho. Hodia Adonai Yeshuato. Le'ene hagoyim gilati kato. Zachar chasto ve'emunato. Le'vei Yisrael. Ra'u cho'asei haaretz. Et Yeshuat Eloheinu. Havriyu l'Adonai kol haaretz. Kitzu ve'ranenu ve'zameru. Tamru l'Adonai bechinor. Bechinor ve'kol zimra. Bachatrotrot ve'kol shofar. Hariu lifnei hamelech. Adonai Yiram hayam umlo'o. Tevel ve'yoshveva. Neharot imcha ucha. Yachad harim yeranenu. Lifnei Adonai kiva. Lishpot haaretz. Yishpot tevel betzedek. Ve'amim be'mesharim. Yandai, ay, dai, 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 ay, dai, dai. Yandai, ay, dai, 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 dai. Yandai, ay, dai, 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 ay, dai, dai. Yandai, ay, dai, 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 dai. 137. Adonai oz le'amo yitein. Adonai yivarech et amo. Adonai oz le'amo yitein. Adonai yivarech et amo. Ay, 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 Vashalom. Ay, ay, Vashalom. Adonai Oz. Adonai Oz. Le'amo yitein. Adonai yivarech et amo. Adonai oz le'amo yitein. Adonai yivarech et amo. Ay, ay, Vashalom. Ay, ay, Vashalom. Ay, Now is our check-in point. Like we've been in the airport trying to get our luggage through security, getting ready, getting prepped for this trip, this journey into Shabbat. But here we are at Chadodi, page 138. We are at the gate. We are about to board. It's the exciting bit, isn't it? All the stress, all the struggle, the packing, the chaos, the anxiety of what have I forgotten, it's behind us. We are at the gate. The gates in Judaism is a beautiful metaphor that comes up again and again, what it means to be at the gate. generally means. So we have to take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and let all the excess baggage stay behind as we enter into something new. Take a moment to sit in that, the wonderful, excited energy in the air before you go through the gate. Shamor v'sachor b'ribur echad Hishmi anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad Ushmo echad V'shemo tiferet v'litila Lecha dodi Likrat kala P'nei Shabbat Nikabla Lecha dodi Likrat kala P'nei Verse 4, Hit na'ari me'afar kumi, Livshi bigdeti batechami, Al yad ben Yishai, Beit halachmi, Karva el nafshi ge'ala, Lecha dodi, Likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabla, Lecha dodi, Likrat kala, Hit oreri, kiva ore, kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kivol Adonai, alayich nigla lecha dodi, likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabla, lecha dodi, likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabla. Oh, v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha, u'soholad, toch emunim segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabla. Yadadai, 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 Page 140. Yismoshili Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulezamer, B'shimcha Elyon.
This week we find ourselves in Parshat Balak, one of the most colorful parshiot in the Torah. It opens with the king of Moab, Balak, calling upon Balaam, a seer of great renown, to curse the Israelites. As he makes his way to meet the Israelites and curse them, Balaam's journey includes a sword-wielding angel of God, a talking she-ass, and a curse that transforms into a blessing. Torah portions are often named after the first word that appears in the parasha, but the first word in this parasha is not Balak. It is Vayar, which means he saw. Balak, king of Moab, saw. And the parsha thereby challenges us to question what and how we see. In the opening line, Balak saw that the Israelites had defeated the Amorites, and now they were camped near his land. He and all of Moab became alarmed by this. Indeed, according to the Talmud, Balak and all the kings of the region had been dreading the Israelites ever since they stood at Mount Sinai. The Talmud tells us that at the moment when the Torah was given, a mighty voice shook the foundations of the earth, such that all the kings of the region trembled, thinking that there would be another flood. They turned to Balaam, the same seer, who assured them that the sound was the voice of God giving the Torah to the Israelites. Balak saw that massive change was coming to his region, a force that was too mighty for him. Ki atzum hu mimeni, for it is too mighty for me, he says. And he's not wrong. What is coming is too powerful for him. He cannot resist it, though he will try. When massive change comes to our world, how do we respond? Particularly when the change is not of our choosing, when it comes from outside of us, and when it is out of our control, it is often frightening. It is natural then to try to stop the change from coming, to use everything in our power, in fact, to stop it. So Balak appeals to Balaam. And though at first Balaam refuses to go with the men that Balak sends to summon him, a next delegation of dignitaries succeeds in getting Balaam onto the road. God has given him permission to go, but warns him that he will only be able to speak words that God gives him to say. As Balaam makes the journey to Moab and the encampment of the Israelites, he encounters what at first seems to be a technical difficulty. His aton, or she-ass, will not move forward. First, she veers off the path and Balaam beats her until she returns. Next, she squeezes against a wall, crushing his foot, and Balaam again beats her until she centers herself on the path. And finally, she lies down in the middle of the path, refusing to move forward, no matter how harsh the beating. Each time Balaam is prevented from moving forward in the direction he aims to go, he gets angry and becomes violent, but his anger and hatred and violence do not get him closer to his goal. And finally, the she-ass opens her mouth and speaks to him. What have I done to you that you have beaten me these 3 times, she says. And he shouts in response, you have made a mockery of me. He's humiliated. If I had a sword, he continues, a sword with me, I would kill you. And she responds, look. It's what it says in the Torah. I'm just repeating it. Look, I am the ass you've been riding all along until this day. Have I ever been in the habit of doing this to you? No, he has to admit. In other words, she's saying, you know me. You know that I don't behave this way. Consider that there must be something causing me to behave this way. And as soon as he can see from her perspective, Balaam's eyes are opened, and he sees that there's an angel of God with a drawn sword in its hand, blocking the path, which is leading to his frustration. In the episode between Balaam and the she-ass and the angel, we see a narrowing and then an expanding or expansion of vision. After Balaam beats the ass, they find themselves on a narrow path. The text tells us that then the path becomes even narrower, like a lane with a wall on either side. We feel their world closing in. And then when the angel stands in the path, the ass swerves into the wall, crushing his foot, Balaam's foot. Today, we might use the phrase in a tight place or against the wall to indicate a feeling of being trapped, of not having options, of being forced into a smallness of perspective. And finally, the text tells us that they are, quote, in a spot so narrow that there's no room to swerve in any direction. And that's when she lies down and they're completely stuck, unable to move at all. Only when Balaam listens to his animal does he start to understand another perspective. And then suddenly his vision expands far beyond the animal, beyond his aching foot, beyond the narrow path, beyond the walls on either side. And only then does he remember that his little world is part of something so much bigger. And only then does it occur to him that there's more going on than he'd been able to see before. That the narrowness was only a small part of the whole picture, which was actually expansive beyond walls and paths and Midian and Moab and Israel and the Euphrates River basin and the land near the Mediterranean Sea and humans and animals and the earth itself. In Kabbalah, there's an important idea called mochin de katnut and mochin de gadlut. You may have heard me teach about this before. I love this. It means small mind and big mind. And in Kabbalah, it is taught that at any day, anytime, we can be in small mind or we can be in big mind. Small mind is beating the donkey on the walled-in narrow path. Big mind is seeing the angel of God. Big mind is remembering that there's always something you can't see. There's always something beyond anger. There's always something beyond fear. There's always something bigger going on. In particular, when we find ourselves stuck in conflict, that is usually a sign that we need big mind, that there is a need for some bigger imagination, some bigger vision, some bigger perspective that we have yet to perceive. Back with the Israelites, Balak sees change coming that frightens him. Now, Rashi notes, he was a medieval commentator, he notes that the Israelites had actually been skirting Moabite land, avoiding conflict with them, having no intention of war with the Moabites, which is what Balak was afraid of. But in his fear, Balak sees danger. And he's right when he says, Ki atzum hu mimeni, it's too mighty for me. He cannot control or stop this change that's coming. It is bigger and more powerful than he, but he's not right that he needs to be afraid of it. Fear, of course, constricts our vision. If he could see expansively, he might say those same words with different meaning. The Shalom, Rabbi Isaiah Halevi Horowitz, points out that Balak's words, Ki atzum hu mimeni, it is too mighty for me, can also be read and more literally says, its might comes from me. The Shalom reminds us that Balak himself, the Moabite king, is the ancestor of Ruth, and therefore also the ancestor of King David. In other words, in the future, there will be a bridge built between the Moabite and the Israelite people, which leads not only to the mightiest leader that Israel will ever have, but also to the harbinger of a world redeemed, a world characterized by peace and justice for all. So Balak has a role to play in the very thing he fears. And the future might of the nation that he currently sees as a threat is ultimately a path of healing for all people. So what does all of this mean for us? There are massive changes happening in our world right now. A whole lot of it feels threatening in different ways to different populations. Many people are feeling not only frightened, but that collectively we are stuck in narrow thinking with walls on every side. We're not wrong if we say, Atsum hu mimeni, it is mightier than me. But what Shalom would have us do is find our place in it, our role in both the problems and the solutions. I'm reading a book right now called The Tyranny of Merit by Michael Sandel, and it's enabling me to see the ways that we, in the elite coastal cities, those of us who have college degrees or advanced degrees, those of us with professional jobs, have believed ourselves to be superior to the residents of what is sometimes called the flyover states, and projected that superiority in a way that contributed to a feeling of humiliation. The ways we've accepted and internalized, in addition, unfettered free market ideology, even as the country hollowed out its infrastructure, its safety net, and its middle class, gave that wealth to the top 1%. The ways we turned our backs on all of the counties and states we left. And I am one who left. And many of us fled for very good reasons. But it led us to ignore the 50-year strategy to roll back the clock by slowly winning elections at every school board and every county board and every state legislature and appointing judges on every bench, which has brought us to this moment. Which also means that in our retreat to our safe coastal havens, we've allowed white supremacy and patriarchy to shape public policy and collective consciousness for those last 50 years. The bad news is we have a role in this. The good news is we have a role in this. If we're in Mochin de Katnut, small mind, it's us versus them, it's resist, it's fight and win. And you know what? That's legitimate and important because a lot of life takes place in small mind and it matters. But if we're in Mochin de Gadlut, big mind, it's lifting up our perspective and our imagination so we can see the grand interconnected reality that we're a part of and the myriad possibilities that lie before us if only we would look bigger. Just as the images from the new NASA telescope remind us that there is so much more going on here than we usually see, that our context is wondrous and our vision can be too. The contrast between the view on the ground in 2022 America and the view of the cosmos coming through the telescope reminds us of two last sources I will share. First, from Rainer Maria Rilke. If only we arrange our life according to that principle which counsels us that we must always hold to the difficult, then that which now still seems to us the most alien will become what we most trust and find most faithful. Perhaps all the dragons of our lives are princesses who only are waiting to see us once beautiful and brave. Perhaps everything terrible is in its deepest being something helpless that wants help from us. Not that a princess is ever helpless. I want to be clear about that. And the second from this week's Haftarah in Micah, which, hold on. I don't have my glasses on. It's on one of those three windows. When we remember, this is not on the mic on the window. When we remember big mind, Mochin de Gadlut, we remember how small we are and what matters most. And we remember this. It has been told to you, O mortal, what is good and what the eternal requires of you. Only this: do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Only this, nothing more. You don't have to save the world. You don't have to change everything alone or right now. These three things are enough and they are required. Do justice, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. That is how we see beyond the fear and beyond the walls. That is how we find our role in all of it. That is how we turn curse into blessing. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi. We now rise and turn to page 144. Shemei Rabbah, Be'amad Yivrach Yotev Yamlich Mochotei, B'chayechon u'b'yomechon, u'chayetecho b'et Yisrael, Bagala, u'bizman kariv, V'yimaru Amei, Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'al Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'pa'ar v'dron v'yitnaseh, v'yitador v'yitaleh, v'yitalal shemei d'kedusha, richud le'ela min kol merchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma, Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'ed. You may be seated. לחושך נבלעו, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבי.
Page 150.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושופטנו, ובקומנו נצליח מחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגד יומם ולילה. היי 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 לבטח אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. 154. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. מי כמוך, מי כמוך, אלוהים אדוני, מי כמוך, נדר בקודש, נורא Moshe u'Miriam, ne Moshe u'Miriam, ze Eli, anu ve'omeru, Adonai imloch, le'olam va'ed. ונאמר כי ברא אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גואל ישראל.
So I'm going to use the opportunity of having some guests here to give us a little tour through what we just did. Turn back to page 148. So Mariv Aravim prayer, and we chanted just the end of, we begin all of our holy days when the sun sets, because when the sun sets, we remember where we are. I was talking before about the telescope. During the day, you can't see past the atmosphere, but when the sun sets, you can. And so this moment is the moment of remembering, reckoning with where we actually are, which is exalting to remember how small we are and how big it is. It's awesome. It's what it is. And on page 150, we turn to Ahavat Olam, and this is the idea that we are loved by an eternal love, God's love. And the way that love shows up is through mitzvot, that we're taught about things we're supposed to do in the world to make the world more righteous and just. And then from there we go into, on the next page, the Shema, which is our central statement of faith, the idea that God is one and there is an essential oneness connecting all that is. And the thing is that is sandwiched between love. So page 150 was about love and page 154 is about love. The idea is that we are loved forever and always, that brings us into a oneness, an awareness of a oneness and an interconnectedness. And out of that oneness and interconnectedness, therefore we must love, ve'ahavta. And what does that love look like? It looks like doing mitzvot. It looks like love is not just a feeling in Judaism, love is action. And love turns into action, things you're supposed to do and remember to do, that are about contributing your own life to, page 158, redemption, making the world the place of freedom and justice and peace that it should be. Contributing your lives to, there is this prayer on 158 is telling us that that God is the force moving toward freedom, but we have a role to play. All of the prayers leading up to this remind us that we have a specific role to play. And that brings us to page 160, which is what I'm really supposed to be talking about right now, which is Hashkivenu, which is our nighttime prayer, a bedtime prayer, in which we just ask if we could be safe tonight. It's really what it is. Could we please be safe tonight? Because sometimes nighttime represents danger, brings up fear, brings up all the things that could happen to us, all the harm that could come to us. Could we please be safe tonight? Could we lie down tonight and rest, knowing that we're going to be okay? Could we feel peace in the night and sleep deeply and wake refreshed to life tomorrow? That's what we're praying. And so we think when we come to this prayer, who are all the people who feel unsafe tonight? Who are the people without roofs over their heads? Who are the people who are in shelters hiding from shelling and bombing? Who are the people who are threatened in other ways, don't have food security, don't have a knowledge that they're going to be okay tomorrow or tonight, any kind of danger? And so we think about them and pray for them as we pray Hashkivenu for safety for ourselves. And then we'll turn from there to Mishaberach, which is our prayer for healing. The Hashkivenu being collective for everyone to be safe. Mishaberach being about who do we know who needs healing, who's sick right now, who's battling a diagnosis, who has had surgery or is in the hospital or has an injury or is hurting in their heart or their mind. So when we get there, I'll invite you to share names of people you're thinking of and we'll pray together for their healing. For now, we're on 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom V'amidenu Shomrenu טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך, להגן בעדנו, ועשה מעלינו אויב דבר, וחרב ורעה ויגון, והרחק ממנו עוון והפשע, וצל כנפיך תסתירנו, כי אל שומרנו ומצילנו אתה, כי אל חנון ורחום אתה, ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, Page 371. Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha le'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
Now I invite you to share out loud names of people you're praying for tonight for healing.
Tommy Algeria, Florence Algeria, Julia Rose. Shut your mouth.
We'll pray together.
Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
turn now to page 162 for Vishamru, which is our biblical passage reminding us about why we have Shabbat. And we're going to turn from there after we've sung it into what follows on page 164, and following is our silent Amidah, our silent standing prayer. We rise now.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat b'norotam berit olam, beini u'bein Yisrael et oti le'olam, beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai ve'et ha'aretz uvayom ha'shevi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash.
Did that sound a little bit like a lullaby? It's kind of perfect because it's not every Friday that we get to welcome a new baby into covenant, but we do get to do that tonight. So I'm very excited to invite Sharon Bonham to come up with her son, Geffen Arbel, as we get to welcome him into the covenant of the Jewish people and give him his name. He is very new. So Sharon has been an active member of CVE and Friday nights. And I remember when the pandemic started, you like right away signed up for CVE Connects, and we're making sure everybody felt connected and not alone. And you're part of Chesed, and you've just been like the kind of person who shows up for others and helps us build this really beautiful, loving community. And what a pleasure for us to be able to welcome your little one right now and to all celebrate in his belonging here with you and with our people and with this congregation. And so I'm going to ask you to repeat after me the words of bringing him into the covenant, and then I'll give him his name, and then you'll get a chance to tell us a little bit about his name that you chose, his names that you chose. All right, wrong side of the page. All right. Repeat after me. Baruch atah Adonai.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu v'mitzotav v'tzivanu lehachniso bivrit am Yisrael.
You said, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to bring this child into the covenant of our people Israel. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu kayem et hayeled hazeh le'imo v'yikareh shmo b'Yisrael Geffen Arbel ben Sharon v'tagel imo b'fri vitna zeh hakaton gadol yeh keshem shenichnas labrit ken yikanes leTorah lechuppah u'lema'asim tovim. Our God and God of our mothers and fathers, sustain this child through his mother's loving care. Let him be known among our people, Israel, by the name Geffen Arbel, son of Sharon. May his name be a source of joy to him and inspire him to serve our people and all humankind. May his mother rejoice in his growth of body and soul, and as she has brought her son into the covenant, so may she, with wisdom and patience, lead him to a life filled with the blessing of learning and of community, to loving relationships worthy of God's blessing, and to the pursuit of good deeds. And together we all say, Amen. Beautiful. Now I'm going to give you a chance to say a few words.
Is Masha here? Oh, no. Do you mind holding him?
I do not mind holding him, no. Youngest is 17, so
Geffen, I've given you a first name that in Hebrew represents bounty, beautiful, juicy abundance, so that you have everything wondrous that this world has to offer in love and friends and strangers, music and culture in the natural world, and in everything you pick up that delights, inspires, and enriches you, and most of all, for you to be able to give and receive the abundance of love. More so, and what is key here, is for you to have the eyes, ears, and heart to recognize such abundance in all the details, big and small. Geffen, this abundance is yours, and it's an infinite resource for you to take in. Equally so, the abundance is for you to spread to those around you as copiously as you feel possible. Your middle name, Arbel, is a name I've chosen to conjure up the view seared into my mind from my grandmother's porch on her kibbutz in Israel. Nearby to where your great-great-grandparents made a life for 3 generations to come is Har Arbel, the mountain of Arbel. This mountain overlooks the Kinneret and the Jordan Valley, where your great-great Saba Yaakov landscaped the kibbutz with plentiful avocado and pecan trees. There, in that sweet dry air, those trees bore rich fruit, eaten joyfully and in community. Those trees are still enjoyed today. Additionally, like this view and Rabbi Timoner's service or sermon today, may you always be able to see the larger picture and be in big mind. Seeing the potential of what surrounds you, what is within you, and how you can enrich the world and lives around you is why I've chosen your names that to me represent bounty, natural beauty, and the ethos of generosity. You will ripen to who you are meant to be, and I vow to let you flourish into the person only you are meant to be.
So now I want to invite you to just call out words of blessing for this little one and his mom. What are blessings you have for him? What words that you want to share? Like something, one word that you wish for him. Love, health, joy,
Fruitfulness.
peace, courage,
A sense of humor.
sense of humor, support, confidence, belonging, friendship. Beautiful. I'm going to give tranquility, curiosity. So I'm going to give him, do you want me to give him? I should probably give him back. Okay. I'm going to give you all the priestly benediction, and then we're going to have a chance to sing Shechianu to you. Yivarechechem Adonai v'yishmerechem. May God bless you and keep you safe. Ya'er Adonai panav elechem v'yichunechem. May God shine on you and smile on you. Yisa Adonai panav elechem v'yasem lachem shalom. May God lift God's face to you and bring you peace. Now we sing the blessing of first times, Shechianu.
Page 648, if you'd like words.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shechianu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shechianu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
Not only with that blessing, but with much joy and celebration.
We're going to send you off with a Siman Tov Mazel Tov.
Simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov. Elanu, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Page 586.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Middle 590. כי המלכות שלך היא, ולעולמי תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר וכתב אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Such a range of emotions in tonight's service. We always end by bringing close to heart and mind the people we love whom we've lost, memories of people who shaped us, and people whose blessing and teaching and inspiration we pass on to our children and their children. If you're here in the first week since the death of someone you love, if you're here in Shiva, I invite you to rise and tell us the name of the person you remember. If this is Shloshim, the first 30 days since the death of someone you love, I invite you to rise and tell us who you're remembering. If this is Shana, if you're in the first year since the death of someone you love, I invite you to rise and tell us who you're remembering. And if this is a yard site for you, the anniversary of a death, I invite you to rise and tell us who you're remembering.
Mary DeRosa and Carl DeRosa.
We all rise in company with the mourners in our midst. We remember these recent losses in our congregational community. Judy Rabinowitz, mother of Josh Rabinowitz, mother-in-law of Janet Gotchman, grandmother of Jake and Zoe. Marcia Israelite Lieberman, mother of Lisa Lieberman and grandmother of Allie and Maddie. Herbert Fleischer, father of Matt Fleischer Black, father-in-law of Jessica Fleischer Black and grandfather of Rose and Kate. Sylvia Binder, mother of Karen Binder, mother-in-law of Victor Ney, grandmother of Rebecca, Jeremy, and David, and great-grandmother of Rose. And these yard sites. The anonymous donor from whom Will Baker received a kidney. Beatrice Adler, Alex Berlin, Edward Burmis, Carl DeRosa, Mary DeRosa, Edwin Diamond, Jenny Diener, Blanche Dorman, Ann Dressler, Naomi Eisner, Willard Everett, Bessie Felsingfeld, Nina Frankel, Arnold Goodman, Robin Haspel Dozier, Henry Hess, Aaron Jacobs, Lena Jaffe, Miriam Genavi Katz, Jeff Krebs, Stanley Kriegel, Celine Lefkowitz, George Levitt, Ronnie Lewin, Albert Meisler, Isabel Meyer, Victor Ney, Joanne Ney, Philip Knocklin, Francis Olive, Milton Olive, Edward Powers, Karen Rand, Justin Rochkind, Constance Rockmore, Charles Rockmore, Morris Roth, Jacob Rubine, Billy Safian, Malka Schwartz, Flora Shalom, Lawrence Siegel, Ruth Silver, Norman Silverman, Marvin Spurn, Mildred Strauss, George Tartikoff, Daniel Unger, Carol Urich, Selma Wald, George Winter. Holding them all together, we say Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be an everlasting blessing as we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Gadal v'kadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute, b'chayechon v'yomechon ufchaye l'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivarach Le'alam U'Lalmei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shmei Kudesha Brichu. Le'ela minko birchata v'shirata. Tush birchata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Ose shalom b'mromav. Huyaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace in the high places make peace for all who mourn. And we say together, Amen.
On page 625. Adon olam asher malach b'terem